Whether we're baking or cooking, scrambling or sautéing, flipping or folding, a heat-proof silicone spatula is one of the busiest tools in the kitchen. We tested 10 spatulas, priced from about $7 to $19, including our previous winner. It's a heat-proof model used in restaurant kitchens everywhere, the Rubbermaid 963 high heat scraper. Now, sometimes this spatula has felt a little too big for home use, so we looked at new contenders. And we tried every model in every type of task, including folding dry ingredients into whipped egg whites, folding pureed fruit into whipped cream, stirring mix-ins like chocolate chips and nuts into thick cookie dough. And we also use them to cook, stirring and turning scrambled eggs in a skillet, onions and risotto in a saucepan, and chopped carrots in a Dutch oven. Then we use them to scrape up fond from a skillet, to remove scrambled eggs from the pan without breaking up the curds, and to scrape sticky honey out of measuring cups and small mixing bowls. Now, along the way, we considered how the heads and handles of each spatula helped or got in the way. Now, for instance, models with smaller heads moved less food with each pass, so it took more time and effort to mix cookie dough or to stir risotto. But larger heads barely fit in tight spaces like food processor work bowls or 1-cup measuring cups. We preferred spatulas with mid-size heads, about 4 by 2.5 inches, because these worked faster and more efficiently in a variety of tasks. Now, the shape of the spatula heads also mattered. If you got too sharp a top angle, it made it harder to scrape and stir because there just wasn't enough area to make easy contact. And spatulas where the handle sticks into the head like a popsicle stick meant that there were these annoying ridges where food got stuck and prevented thorough mixing, and it took multiple swipes to wipe it clean. Now, the texture of the silicone spatula blades made a big difference too. Now, one blade that was just too stiff, it just skidded over bowl and pan sides, and it nearly deflated egg whites and whipped cream when we tried to fold them. But then thin, flimsy heads on other ones, they just curled up like floppy noodles, totally useless. Now, our favorite had a straight top edge and one gently curved corner that matched the contours of bowls, and it struck the right balance between firmness and flexibility for perfect, easy mixing and scraping. Now, handles were also important. If they were too narrow or they're too chunky, they were just uncomfortable to hang onto as we worked. If they're too slick, they just slid around in our hands. One handle had these big holes that made it really awkward to grab and use. We preferred handles with a fairly even width, neither too thick or thin, with a nice, simple, smooth shape that let us grip it multiple ways and use the spatula at any angle, comfortably and securely. And you know what I hate about spatulas? When the handles melt. We heated a skillet to 450 degrees and rested each spatula in the pan for 10 minutes. Plastic handles ended up with these deep melted grooves. Wood handles were fine, but textured silicone handles resisted melting. Plus, they always felt nice and grippy in our hands as we used them. Now, we really preferred spatulas made of one single seamless piece of silicone, both head and handle, so no food or dishwater could get stuck in crevices. We had one model that dripped dishwater into our freshly whipped cream. Now, another pet peeve I have, silicone spatulas that get cut up. We scraped our food processor bowl with the blade in place to see which ones came out unscathed, and some actually did. Now, finally, we don't want a spatula that easily gets stained or smelly, so we soaked them all in a slurry of warm tomato sauce, minced garlic, and curry powder for 2 hours. Then we washed them and we checked for stains and leftover smells. And then we washed them 50 more times in the dishwasher and by hand to see if any still came out good as new. At the end of all of this, we had a winner. It's called the Dioro Living Seamless Silicone Spatula for about $11. Now, this spatula had it all. Had a texture that was firm enough for scraping and scooping, but just bendy enough to get every drop. With straight sides and a wide flat blade, it scraped and mixed efficiently. And it had a blade small enough that fit neatly into tight corners. Its one-piece silicone design has no nooks or crannies to trap food or dishwater, and its grippy handle was exceptionally comfortable in every tester's hand. For $11, it's our new favorite silicone spatula.